And I welcome all the shareholders and other panelists to this 85th annual general meeting. Can everybody hear me?
Go ahead, Shiv Shankar, start the meeting.
Yeah, all the members of the board, namely Mr. Sanjay Bagaria, Chairman, Mr. Indrajit Sen, Managing Director, and the independent directors, Mr. Ratan Lal Gaggar, Mr. Sandeepan Chakraborty, Mrs. Bharati Ray, and the non-executive director, Mr. Sanjay Shah, all of them are present. The company has received 8 corporate resolutions under Section 113 of the Companies Act, and they are in order. The register of directors, KMP, and their shareholding under Section 170 of the Companies Act. The register of contracts in which directors are interested under Section 189 of the Companies Act, and other documents as stated in the notice convening the meeting are available for inspection on the NSDL portal as well as the company website. Now a few things about the e-voting procedure. Considering the COVID pandemic, the AGM is being convened through video conferencing rather than physical meeting using the NSDL platform in due compliance with MCA Circular number 2020 dated 5th May 2020 and Circular number 221 dated 13th January 2021. The notice convening this AGM along with the annual report was sent only by email to those shareholders who had registered their email IDs to the company and the depositories in due compliance with MCA and SEBI circulars. And the annual report is also available on the websites of the company, BSE and NSDL. The company has provided the facility of e-voting as well as e-voting at this remote e-voting as well as e-voting at this AGM, that is the InstaPoll. So InstaPoll facility is already started for the shareholders at 2 o'clock. The remote e-voting procedure commenced on 26 September and ended on 28 September yesterday at 5 p.m. And those shareholders who have not cast their votes through remote e-voting, they can now cast their votes on the InstaPoll at this meeting using the platform. The practicing company secretary Arup Kumar Rai, he is a scrutinizer for the meeting and he is present. I now humbly request the respected chairman to proceed with the business for today's meeting.
Thank you, Shiv Shankar. Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you to the 85th annual general meeting of the company. The accounts for the year under review with the director's report have been sent to you by mail and which I presume as read. The revenue for the year under review was 110.96 lakhs as against 125.89 lakhs of the preceding year, and as such there was a net loss before tax for 661 lakhs as against 317 lakhs of the previous year. All of us are aware that COVID-19 infection in the country started sometime around end of last financial year and became a pandemic by March 2020. This compelled the government of India to declare a countrywide lockdown from end of March 2020. As a consequence of this lockdown, a massive reverse migration of labor started and the migrant labor from all over the country went back to their homes. The lockdown was imposed to contain the spread of the infection, but unfortunately this did not happen as a second wave came and the pandemic reached an unprecedented and disastrous level which continued for many months. The lockdown resulted in various industries across the country to shut down their operations, and even when the lockdown was withdrawn subsequently in phases, the industrial operations continued to suffer as a big segment of the industry was dependent on migrant labor who were not available. The consequence of this unprecedented pandemic were multiple. For instance, the factories were not operating for many months. The generation of revenue of the government, which depends in a big way on indirect taxes like GST, was badly affected. This in turn forced the government to impose various taxes, resulting in sharp rise in costs of all raw materials and all commodities. The investment in capital account in both government as well as in private sector also saw a major decline on account of sharp drop in revenue collections and liquidity crunch. Further, as many factories in the core sector and many other sectors were not working, the impact on supply chain was severe. And apart from non-availability of raw material and components, there was sharp rise in input costs. I am sure you will understand the challenges faced by all industries, including your company. The primary objective of the management of your company for the year was to meet these multiple challenges and ride this wave of downturn and ensure security of the employees, both by protecting them from the infection as well as financially. To meet these objectives, your company put in place prudent liquidity management and stringent cost control measures. I am pleased to inform that the company survived these severe challenges without any major distress to the employees or their families. The company also met their payment liability in time, including payment of term loans, installments, and interest thereof to the banks. I acknowledge and thank all the employees for their hard work and efforts, which made it possible for the company to meet the objectives. Moving forward, I'd like to mention that the first quarter of the current year saw the industry across the country slowly start to climb back towards normalcy, and though it did not reach the normal level till end of Q1, but it was encouraging to see the migrant labor starting to return back to work. It is expected that the industry will recover sufficiently to reach normal levels by the end of Q2 this year. If this trend continues, the second quarter, subsequent 2 quarters of the year is expected to see normal industrial activity across the country. Your company also expects to reach normal level of operations and satisfactory performance by end of the year. I surely would like to add a caveat that there is always a threat of a third wave of COVID-19 infection. Let us hope it will have any major impact on the industry. As reported in the director's report, we have shut down the marketing joint venture with Algaya Process, which was an appropriate economic decision jointly taken by both the companies. The license agreement for manufacture of Moser dryers and also manufacturing these dryers for Algaya Process for their global market will continue at our Nagpur plant. I convey my sincere thanks to the shareholders for their understanding and continued support. With your permission, I take the notice convening the meeting together with the director's report for the financial year ended 31st March 2021, which has already been circulated amongst the members as read. With your kind permission, I take the auditor's report of the annual financial statements for the financial year ended 31st March 2021 as read in accordance with Section 145 of the Companies Act 2013, as the same does not contain any qualifications, reservations, or adverse remarks. Before I take up the ordinary and special business of today's agenda, I would like to invite all the shareholders who have registered themselves as speakers to express their views and raise queries at this AGM, and they may do so when their turn comes through the link provided by NSDL. Due to time constraints, kindly note that the time slot allotted to each speaker has been restricted to 3 minutes. If any pre-registered speaker does not respond when invited to speak, the next speaker shall be invited. Since the queries raised by the speakers may have some common elements. I shall reply to all of them together after the speakers have spoken.
Yes, the first registered speaker is Bimal Krishna Sarkar.
He has not joined, sir.
Okay, the second speaker is Taroknath Chakraborty.
On the line audio. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Your very valuable speech. 85 Annual General Meeting, our International Combustion India Limited is a very oldest gold company. Our not only Calcutta, all over India and outside of India. I am very pleased to 85 Annual General Meeting to conduct the VC and VC situation of the COVID-19 and 2021 is pandemic situation. Our human life structure is rapidly changed. Not only human life rapidly changed, business segment, GDP, financial structure are all destroyed of this pandemic situation of COVID matters. So naturally, we are all the past and try to make a better is a normal life, enjoy the future coming 21-22 company annual report. Chairman sir, I observe your annual report is really very wonderful annual report. Basically, company this year some dip for business segment. My point is that sir, that is not a matter of joke. Some dip of the company business and making habits in your loss. But pandemic situation, our company is running. That is the better perfection of the company. All our management team are very really life risks are proper time delivered. And first thing one thing I comment. Our very sad, our company very sincere ability efficient persons, Mr. Shah Sahib is retired, and there is a new join and newcomer, our company senior Mr. Sibram Krishnan, and very sincere ability efficient persons and joining the company AGM, the first conduct the AGM secretary. Sir, balance sheet portion are very really good, 100% benchmark point. I know comments are annual reporting. I know briefly longer in my speech, and previous 5-7 speaker is waiting for speaking the video conferencing. Sir, my one thing point, very recent I've my mobile is contact to our MD, Shen Saib. I know basically try to disturb our company MD. He is a very busy person. But now I want to say this regarding discussion our company business scenario. But he is lining. I opened the half an hour, but our MD is not received my phone. Is a very sad. So naturally, I request at least our MD after AGM any day I contact to his discussion some point regarding to our company various type of situation going. So sir, I request at least our MD's time to contact my mobile and personally I sitting to our MD. So sir, I request this my queries, and I know really very good our company sound sleep our business segment. So and naturally we are pray the God our chairman is good health or enjoy the life, and our MD is very sincere ability efficient person. I pray that God is very keep safe your family and your health is well positioned and keep enjoy your all our servicing. And at last I thanks our company secretary, all our member, Mr. CFO, Mr. Nyogi Sahib is a hurdle. Try to make a better performing. We are expected 21-22 company annual report. At last I thanks Mr. Desai and our company secretary, another Mr. Manna is a very good efficiency and efficient person, are controlling the share department and proper time delivered our mail and the keep arrange and VC. At last, I thanks our website is a very nice to conduct our servicing or VC basis. Really is very pandemic time as servicing is websites, WebEx, and really I proud to is very good conduct to all meeting. So naturally I no linger our speech. Thank you for all our person. Thank you our valuable chairman. Thank you management board. And at last I thanks to all member our unit. Thank you, sir.
Yes, the next speaker is Mr. Saket Kapoor.
Yeah. Dhanwad, sir. You can hear me, sir?
Yes, we can hear you, Mr. Saket Kapoor.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity. And sir, firstly, I have some basic understandings on the factors which our chairman do articulated in his opening remark about the lower revenue and the lower revenue that the company posted, but particularly for this building material segment. What are the key reasons that we are unable to scale up this unit at Ajmer? Correct me wrong if I'm wrong. The dry motor unit has been mentioned, and what has been our investment in this unit, and what is the thought process? I think the 2016 was the one year in which we commissioned it. So 5 years have gone down. Where are we lacking? What are our investments, and what are our fixed costs in running this unit? And what is the thought process of the management way forward of reducing the losses, hiving it off? What is the progress the company has made? Sir, when we look at your segment revenues, we find our minerals, this MHE segment, the material and mineral handling equipment segment, contributing the lion's share of our revenue and profitability. And with the improved sentiments in the user industries of cement, mining, and limestones and all, we are there is capex and expansion from all these industries. So how is what should be the outlook for this segment going forward? If you could give us some color on the order booking for all the different verticals of the company, so that will give us some basic of understanding of where are we heading for this financial year, and what is that with what program is the company executing itself, or is leading, say 3 years down the line? What is the scale we want to achieve, barring these unforeseen circumstances, on a top line of say 120 110 crore? What kind of growth, or how can we take advantage of this incremental swing that has happened, that is happening in the economy, that is very well visible from the GST collections, from the advanced tax collection? How is our company going to participate in the growth story the country is witnessing currently? Correct me here also wrong if I have my inference incorrect. And sir, the order booking I have requested of the different verticals. So we also found that we are generally executing fixed price contracts, and now with the volatility in the raw material prices, particularly steel and all, how are our margins looking up going forward? And sir, we have technological tie-up with foreign collaborators. So are we? What is our what is our guidance on the introduction of new products in the domestic market? And sir, you have told earlier that we have repaid our debts, term loans, and also as on 30th June, what is our working capital requirement, and if any term loan there, you please highlight the same. And I wish the company the best in future activity. Bagadia साहब, जैसे हम लोग इन्वेस्टर्स ये भी देखते हैं कि अभी कई सारी मिड कैप्स एंड माइक्रो कैप कंपनीज अपने इन्वेस्टर्स को क्वार्टरली अपडेट्स प्रोवाइड करने में विश्वास रखती हैं, चाहे वो आपके बिजनेस अपडेट्स हों, प्रेस रिलीजेस हों, या कॉन्फ्रेंस कॉल हो. तो अपनी कंपनी की वो साइज कब तक आप एक्सपेक्ट करते हो कि एक रिस्पेक्टेबल साइज में ये कंपनी ग्रो कर सकती है, बिजनेस कर सकती है? बिकॉज वी आर करेंटली in a segment wherein we can take good advantage of the current business environment. I'm speaking particularly of the material handling equipment segment. And sir, what are the reasons for this geared motor and box segment also reporting losses for the year? Is it the underutilization, higher fixed cost? Sir, there should be more forums in which your investors or the analyst community may have the opportunity to interact with the senior management team, provided you give us an opportunity to have a good discussion with the business environment and the numbers. I hope the board members will also take note of these bare minimum requirements, since you are in a listed space, and create a platform and opportunity for investors to have an interactive sessions over, say, if not on a quarterly basis because of our small size, maybe yearly, biannually, that would also suffice. But there should be a medium, sir. That was my request was. And I said, we also see that Indrajit Babu is now above 80. We wish him good health, but what is the succession planning with who is going to be in his shoes, say 5 years, 7 years down the line, or what is the thought process behind that? And overall, these were my points. And sir, I also request the moderator or the company secretary not to put us on mute, so that if we find any follow-up question once the chairman's reply, or if he misses any of our point, we can prompt him humbly to reply to it. It is the prerogative of the moderator and the company secretary whether he suffice to my request or not. And that's all from my side. I wish the best of health for everybody. Thank you. Namaskar, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Kapoor. The next speaker is Mr. Bishwendra Narayan Kundu.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Hello?
we can hear you, Mr. Kundu.
Hello. Okay, thank you. Respected Chairman, members of the board, fellow shareholder and friend, I am B.N. Kundu. I would like to tell you all about my love and affection for International Combustion India Limited, as I am sentimentally attached with this company since its early days. My father became a shareholder of the company about 47 years ago, and thereafter, after his death, I inherited the share during my childhood days and continue to be a member since then. This year, we are celebrating 85 years of our journey. We salute of our performance. At the outset, I would like to thank the management for steady progress of the company year after year. According to soft copy, the report presented to us has been very nicely prepared with exhaustive details, and I have nothing further to say on it. I congratulate the management and sincerely hope that the growth and prosperity of the company will be maintained. International Combustion is doing very well during the past few years and will also do well in future year also. The drop in profit this year should not be counted judge about the state of the business of the company, as this has happened due to unheard of pandemic situation that has badly affected all aspects of human life, including that of business in India and in other parts of the world. The situation will be over very soon, and the company will surge ahead under the able leadership of our all-time leader, Mr. Sanjay Bagaria. I do not want to lengthen my speech with our respected MD, Mr. Indrajit Sen, the helm of the company. Before I close, I want to offer a special thanks to Mr. P.R. Sankaran and Mr. Manna, A.K. Manna, for their cordiality and hospitality. When I have visited International Combustion Office for any queries. With this remark, I am closing here with thanks to all.
Thank you, Mr. Kundu. The next speaker is Mr. Jaideep Bakshi.
Sir, Mr. Bakshi has not joined the meeting.
Okay, then we can go to the next speaker, Mr. Ashit Kumar Pathak.
Yes, I'm unmuting him.
Am I audible, sir?
Yes, Mr. Pathak, we can hear you.
Yes, yes. Very good afternoon, respected chairman, board of directors, MD, CFO, company secretary. My name is Ashit Kumar Pathak, joining from Domdom, Kolkata, 85th AGM of International Combustion Limited. At first, most welcome our new company secretary, Mr. P.R. Shiv Shankar, and thanks for his enhanced cooperation to allow me to speak and send me notice of the AGM very well in advance. Also, my esteemed gratitude to Mr. A.K. Manna for sending me the link. And also thanks to our earlier company secretary, Mr. S.C. Shaha, for his enhanced cooperation and contribution to my company, and praying to God for good health in the rest of his life. Financial performance is very not so optimistic because the pandemic very much impacted, especially first quarter and second quarter financial year 21. By this, my also company achieved 110 crores revenue against 123 crores previous year. So not in profit segment. So I have full confidence to my company's management team with their value-added innovative products portfolios, and also good promoter holding 52.79%. Sir, I have some views. My previous speaker, Mr. Kapoor, mentioned various questions. I have briefed. I like to share something. Present capacity and any diversification in business, and 3 years capex program. Any and in steel segment, also electric vehicles are uprising. How my company is taking this opportunity, also by Atmanirbhar Bharat initiative, Union government making very initiative for optimistic financial production in industries. Also ECLGS scheme, government term loan facility for working capital. I think my company also taking this opportunity. Also, thanks to companies' management teams to written off existing subsidiaries and joint venture, considering 50 lakhs in future progression in concentration in main business. This is many good decision, because subsidiaries are not in good well performer. I also last year raised this question about these subsidiaries. Also, debt reduced to 0.16. So I think my company management team is taking various initiative as a debt-free company. And also my views, so future rewarding policy to members. I think my company management team is very innovative, very innovative and very efficient and very experienced team. So I think my company is soon getting rid back acts from negative scenarios. I pray to God, to everybody good health and my progression of my company. Thanking you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Pathak. The next speaker would be Mr. Santosh Kumar Saraf.
हाँ जी नमस्कार। माननीय अध्यक्ष जी, उपस्थित सदस्य और मेरे सारे भाइयों बहनों, मेरा नाम संतोष कुमार साहब, मैं कलकत्ता से बोल रहा हूँ सर। आशा करता हूँ आप सब स्वस्थ और अच्छे से होंगे सर। सर मैंने एक प्रश्न लिख के भेज दिए, शंकर साहब को मिल गए होंगे सर। जी शंकर जी मिले ना आपको?
हाँ मेरे को मिला है।
अच्छा ठीक है सर। तो मैं ज्यादा नहीं, मैं उन भाइयों और बहनों के लिए अपनी संवेदना प्रकट करता हूँ जो कोविड में हमको छोड़ के चले गए, चाहे वो हमारे कर्मचारियों चाहे लफ्ज हो। भगवान जब प्रार्थना करो उनकी आत्मा को शांति प्राप्त हो और उनके परिवार को हिम्मत दे जिससे इस कोविड घड़ी से अपने को उभर के वापस आए। बाकी मैंने प्रश्न भेजे, कैपिटल प्लान के बारे में पूछा, रेन वाटर डिस्ट्रिक्ट बारे, रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी के बारे में पूछा, सिंगल यूज प्लास्टिक के बारे में पूछा और वैक्सीनेट के बारे में पूछा और आपको वुमेन एम्पावरमेंट के बारे में पूछा सर। ये प्रश्न मैंने भेजे हैं, शिवशंकर जी आपको बता देंगे, आप जवाब दीजिएगा सर। लास्ट में मेरा एक प्रश्न है सर, ये जो फिजिकल मीटिंग और वीडियो कॉल में मीटिंग हो रही है, तो अपने जो लास्ट ईयर वीडियो कॉल में मीटिंग की उसके पहले फिजिकल मीटिंग करते थे, उसमें अपने कितने पैसे की बचत हुई है ये बताने का कष्ट करिए। एक बार फिर आप सभी जितने डायरेक्टर, जितने भी अधिकारीगण जितने भी हैं हमारे, उनकी लंबी उम्र की कामना करता हूँ और भगवान से प्रार्थना करता हूँ भगवान आप सभी को लंबी उम्र दे और ईयर 2021 आपके लिए और हमारे लिए हैप्पीनेस, वेलनेस और प्रोस्पेरिटी और सेफ्टी के साथ है। और मिस्टर पी शिवशंकर जी, आपका भी मैं हाथ जोड़ के स्वागत करता हूँ कंपनी के लिए, और आपकी छत्र छाया में कंपनी अच्छा HR हम शेयर होल्डर को प्रोवाइड करेगी। जय हिंद, जय भारत, नमस्कार।
Thank you, Mr. Santosh Kumar Saraf. The next speaker is Mr. Sarvananda Gatani.
He has also not joined, sir.
Okay, then we can go to Mr. Manoj Kumar Gupta.
Not joined.
Okay, then we can now check whether one of the earlier speakers who have missed out, whether he has joined, Mr. Bimal Krishna Sarkar.
No, sir.
Has Mr. Jaideep Bakshi joined now?
No, sir.
Okay, then in that case, I think all the speakers who have registered have spoken.
Yes, sir.
So, Mr. Chairman can proceed with the next item of business for the meeting.
Thank you, shareholders, for extending their support and understanding of the company's performance. One major thing I would like to first stress upon that in last year's losses, a major portion was attributed towards the BMD division of which is situated at Ajmer. I am happy to announce that in Q2 this year, we will become EBITDA positive, and I would like also to add that this BMD division, as all the shareholders are aware, that we had started our marketing operations only in 2019 in November, and then we landed up into this pandemic, and as all the shareholders are aware that our products that is being manufactured under license from Cementos Kappa is used for the construction industry, and because of the pandemic and all the workforce had left, the construction sector was severely affected. So as a result, the product has been very well accepted as a good quality brand, has been accepted in the market, and now in current financial year, like we are seeing, the offtake is picking up substantially, and as I just mentioned to you, we hope to be EBITDA positive from this second quarter, and going forward, this will be a major growth engine for the company in the coming months and years going forward. One of the shareholders also raised the issue was about our long-term debt and other issues. I'm happy to announce that the company and its management is very conscious about its long-term debt, and as reported in the balance sheet which is with you, we had a total exposure of debt towards around 14 crores, which as on today, it has been reduced to 9 crores. So we have been able to clear our bank loans to the extent of nearly 5 crores. This further is reflected, if I can share a small number with you, that last year we had paid around 134 lakhs towards interest in the first 6 months of last year, which in this 6 months, it would be around 84 lakhs. So we can see that there has been a substantial saving of nearly 50 lakhs towards interest for the company. Going forward, one of the issues was raised that what is the capex plan that the company has in the for the 3 years. As of now, we did not have much opportunity to apply our mind towards our capex plan. The capex plan for the current year is usual capex plan, just nominal for it be a few crores that really does not require a discussion at this level. But any major capex plans, we have not had any issue. We do not, because we have already invested over 30 crores in the Ajmer plant, and now we can see that it is starting to give us dividends out of, and we would like to further grow with this particular division, and maybe next year or a year after we would come back to the shareholders about the capex. Another issue was that that in the as far as the power division, last year there was a loss incurred by the company. You must accept the fact that first of all, the for 45 to 60 days, the Aurangabad plant was affected due to COVID, and it being stationed in Maharashtra, Maharashtra was severely affected due to COVID. And furthermore, the Aurangabad plant is more dependent on the supply chain management, because of the various castings and found other items which are more dependent on. So the suppliers to the Aurangabad plant were totally shut for several months. And furthermore, the contracts that were executed, we had to incur very high input costs because of the high input cost which has gone up in last year. I'm happy to share with the shareholders that in the beginning of this financial year, we have increased our price list, and the price corrections have been done and well accepted in the market, because it's in line with the other competitors of gearboxes, and hopefully we should come out of this the red situation in this current financial year, unless, with a big caveat, that unless there is the third wave cannot affect us in any way, which hopefully should not, but we don't know really what holds for us. Then one of the issues that was raised was what is the current order book situation? Before I put the numbers before you, I would like to say that these numbers will be little lopsided, because last year, in the first 6 months, the 2 months was totally lost due to COVID. So keeping in mind, I would like to just share the number. In the first half of last year, we had an order book of 45 crores roughly between the two divisions, the heavy engineering division, that is, and the power division. I would not like to discuss on the BMD, the building material division, because that is more of a regular intake orders and they don't have a carryover situation. This 45 crores of last year has increased to 84 crores in this 6 months. So there has been a substantial improvement. Now, whether going forward, whether we'll be able to sustain it, or whether it was the pent up demand that was has come in the first 6 months, time will tell. But the trends are very good and very positive, and hopefully we should this trend should continue. One of the issues was what kind of a saving was done because of this online meetings, not something substantial. It's around 5 lakhs because nothing worth to be discussed really. I'm happy to announce that nearly 85 to 90% of our workforce of our the company's employees are fully vaccinated, and going forward we don't see any disruptions really. I think generally speaking, I have covered most of the points. Maybe another point that was what is the that I have discussed that we have reduced the bank loans also. So more or less, I think going forward, we are very optimistic, and hopefully we should come out of this red scenario. And going forward, we are very optimistic, and we would like to take company back on the growth path in the coming years. So going forward, I would like to put the first item on the agenda is the adoption of the audited financial statement for the financial year 2020-21, along with the directors and auditors report thereon. The related resolution is as follows. That the annual audited financial statement standalone of the company for the financial year ended 31st March 2021 drawn up in accordance with the Indian accounting standards as prescribed under the Companies Act, Companies Indian Accounting Standards Rule 2015, that is the statement of profit and loss, including statement and other comprehensive income for the financial year ended 31st March 2021, the balance sheet as on that date, and the cash flow statement and the statement of changes in equity for the financial year ended on that date, including the notes, schedules, annexures, and statements thereof, together with the reports of the board of directors, including its annexures and attachments, and the auditors, including its annexures thereon, as placed before the meeting, be and hereby considered approved and adopted. The next item of the agenda relates to my reappointment, and this being an item in which I am interested, I invite Mr. Icil, Managing Director, to take the chair and conduct the proceedings of the meeting for this item.
Thank you, Mr. Bagaria. Good afternoon, shareholders and friends. I'll take this resolution. Mr. Bagaria is one of my colleagues on the board. He retires by rotation at this meeting and, being eligible, has offered himself for reappointment. The related resolution is as follows. Resolved that in accordance with Section 152 of the Companies Act 2013, Mr. Sanjay Bagaria, a director of the company who retires by rotation at this meeting and being eligible, has offered himself for the reappointment, be and is hereby reappointed as a director of the company whose period of office shall be liable to be determined by retirement of the directors by rotation. I would now request Mr. Bagaria to take back the chair again and to proceed with the remaining terms of the agenda. Thank you, Mr. Bagaria.
The next item on the agenda relates to the ratification of the shareholders by means of special resolution to the decision of Mr. Indrajit Sen, Managing Director of the company, to voluntarily forego a portion of his remuneration during his previous tenure as detailed in the relevant resolution thereof, therefore, which is contained in item number 3 of the notice convening this AGM. Point number 9 is reappointment of Mr. Indrajit Sen as the Managing Director of the company. The next item of the agenda relates to the approval of the shareholders by means of a special resolution to the reappointment of Mr. Indrajit Sen as Managing Director of the company for a further period of 3 years with effect from 1st of May 2021 on the terms and conditions as detailed in the relevant resolution therefore, which is contained in item number 4 of the notice convening this AGM. Item number 10, the next item on the agenda relates to the approval of the shareholders to the remuneration of rupees 80,000 to be paid to the cost auditors of the company for the financial year 2020-21 by means of an ordinary resolution, and the relevant resolution therefore is contained in item number 5 of the notice convening this AGM. The consolidated results of the voting on each of these resolutions after considering the votes cast both through remote electronic voting and Instra poll shall be announced within 2 working days of the conclusion of this AGM, informed to BSC and uploaded on the websites of the company and NSDL. Ladies and gentlemen, I have concluded all the business of this meeting. I would like to thank you all for your attendance here today.
Yes, all the business having been done for this meeting, I formally conclude this meeting by proposing a vote of thanks to the chair by the members.
So we are concluding the meeting for all, sir.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.